This is an HeirFlow PSA. I hope you received this message. What's wrong with the world? That's the question I've been asking myself for 18 years since I survived that train accident in 2009. I think everybody's asking now because we see the news, we watch the violence, the division, we experience the anxiety, we experience the depression, the addiction, and then we see the greed and the corruption. And we keep treating all these things like they are the causes of our dysfunction. But they are not the causes of our dysfunction. They are merely the symptoms, right? Symptoms of a world that's suffering. Suffering from what? A world that's suffering from misalignment. Because the truth is, modern society has drifted far away from God. Not accidentally, but systematically, right? Maybe we don't even notice it. Subtly, right? And our country, the United States, especially, has become a place that can no longer hide its contradictions, right? We call ourselves a Christian nation while removing God from all daily activities and suffocating the intentions of the people to serve God in a regular daily way, right? Then we monetize nearly every sin imaginable. We promote greed. We all profit from trauma. Our country creates division because division is profitable. Our country feeds people fear because fear is profitable. Our country keeps us in a constant consumption cycle because consumption is profitable. Everything has become a system or about a system. And systems are designed to survive. That's how they're made. That's what they do. Systems feed on people, right? And then they survive. They outlive people, right? But systems prioritize their own expansion at the expense of people at the same time. And the deeper society sinks into system worship, the further humanity drifts away from alignment with God. And that's why people are suffering mentally. Because people were never designed to serve systems, especially not above God, right? But that's exactly what our society trains us to do. That's exactly what we're programmed to do, right? Serve the economy, serve status, serve acquisition, serve productivity, serve your image, serve my image, right? Serve politics, serve survival. And little by little, people drift away from their original intention and farther away from God's intention, right? Because trauma happens, right? Or the pressures increase, responsibilities pile up. We can't avoid that, so people begin filtering things out, right? First, they filter out rest, they lose rest. Then they filter out peace and lose that. Then they filter out alone time and reflection, then prayer. Then they filter out their very own purpose, right? And before you know it, life becomes nothing more than sleeping to work and working to have a place to sleep. And the one thing needed most for your true fulfillment, alignment with God, alignment with your creator, it gets pushed aside, right? See, alignment is about intention, and people don't get that. It's about waking up every day and intentionally placing God first, thanking Him, seeking guidance from Him, serving Him through your actions or whatever you spend your time doing, even if it's at some system or institution, right? Treating your responsibilities as acts of stewardship instead of acts of self-glorification, right? But instead, most people are serving themselves or they've dedicated their lives to serving systems, right? They give reverence to careers and to money and approval. They idolize politics and status and institutions, right? They thank themselves when things go well. Thank their boss when they hit it, right? Then they thank the system that feeds them and that made them, right? And God kind of becomes optional. And eventually a society like this reaches a point where everyone just tries to use everyone for their own personal gain. That's the only game we're playing, right? Systems use people, so why can't we? People go out and imitate systems, then you have people starting to try to manipulate other people into serving my purpose and ambitions instead of yours or God's. And that's the collapse. Not just the economic collapse, not just the political collapse, but the spiritual collapse, the real one, right? Because humans are not systems, and systems are not gods. Systems were designed and are supposed to, intended to, serve humanity. And humanity is designed and intended to serve God. And that's the missing piece. That's the missing alignment. Your whole life is dedicated to serving something other than God. And that's why mental health continues collapsing all over the world. Not because people suddenly became weak or that society had changed in any way, just because the society and the person, the individual, the mind has drifted farther and farther and farther away from alignment with God, real purpose, right? People are spiritually exhausted, psychologically fragmented or broken, emotionally overstimulated, constantly consuming, constantly surviving, constantly chasing, right? And even when people do gain money, even if they do hit it big and get rich, it still doesn't fill the void because human fulfillment can't be purchased. You can't get human fulfillment from human made objects. It's only granted through alignment. It has to be granted through alignment with God. And alignment doesn't require wealth, it requires priority. Is God first in your life? Are your true intentions, is your heart devoted to Him or is it devoted to something else? Because no matter how difficult life becomes, if you genuinely dedicate yourself to serving God and serving others with sincerity, shining God's light through your service, you will find peace in that service. And no matter how much success you achieve or how much money you attain, if your life is devoted to serving yourself or serving systems like most people are, you will eventually find emptiness in that service. And that's 100% guaranteed. And that's why I made HeirFlow. That's how I created HeirFlow, to help people intentionally realign their lives with the lives God has written for them, right? Not through perfection, not through performance, not through pretending or facades, right? But through consistency, right? Every day. HeirFlow combines principles of psychology and spirituality into intentional alignment pathways, right? Because if you examine psychology without God, you're missing the eternal purpose of humanity, right? And if you examine spirituality without intentional action and information, it often lacks consistency and structure. So, HeirFlow bridges both through repetition, through reflection, through psychological anchoring, through spiritual anchoring, through aligned actions taken, through consistent intention daily, over time, quick time. New habits emerge, new thought patterns emerge, new priorities emerge. It's like a psychological training or a workout for your mind or your spirit, just like you would go train your body, right? And then you get the results. And the specific workbook I'm going to talk about today, the Mental Health Restoration Workbook, #1 in the HeirFlow series, will examine the process, the entire HeirFlow framework, from the introduction and the cover page of the book through the front matter and, the table of contents and the framework, the structure of every page every week. And I'll show you how the intentional flow is designed to help restore clarity and alignment step by step, day by day. And this is only one pathway. The mental health pathway is just one. There are currently 15 HeirFlow alignment pathways, each designed around different areas of struggle or needs of restoration, right? Each HeirFlow pathway is 10 weeks long or longer. You can complete them, then you can redo them and check your growth. You can study them in groups or you can use them with a family, right? Pass them to someone else who needs them. Use them as a guide for a conversation or a group around healing, purpose, discipline, grief, trauma, parenting, marriage, identity, restoration, right? Do it on paper. Do the AI version, the tech version, if you're not fond of paper writing, right? And if you go through the process, if you're tired of surviving, if you're tired of being mentally scattered, if you're tired of being unsure, then maybe you need a spiritual alignment. And if you need help being intentional about going on that journey, right, then join the HeirFlow community. This is what I made it for, to help people rededicate their life to God, not in rituals, but in practical ways, right? In every day-to-day alignment, right? So start your alignment journey today. Let's make the human experience better. Let's make the world better. Let's realign ourselves, humanity, with God's intention for us, right? And I guarantee you we'll experience the results of that, right? So I'm going to go to the book. I'm going to show you what it is. Check out HeirFlow, HeirFlowOS.com.